Okay, hello everybody. Hello Instagram fam. It's your boy Ali here from Language One, humbly coming to you with another awesome Instagram live today. Actually, I'm going to be hosting Mr. Steve Mayo from Austin, Texas, and he's going to be bombarding you guys with the dozens of cool ESL hip-hop expressions. Hopefully you guys will enjoy that. And I'm going to have him online actually in a few seconds. I just want you guys to hang in there until we go live and crush it tonight. My apologies for my voice. Sounds a little scratchy. It's from the cold that actually I got a couple weeks ago. It really literally knocked me down to the ground, and I was bedridden for a while. So I was running a high fever, and I got the shivers, I got the chills. You have no idea. That was crazy, man. That was crazy. But now I really pulled through. So let's do it tonight. Okay. Hello, Samira, Sayed Mehdi, Iman _crown. Hello back to all of you guys. It's really nice to have you on this Instagram live. Hopefully you will enjoy this, same as always. Louisiana Lucius. Hey Steve, we got you online. It's only a matter of you actually sending the live request and then we're good to go. Hello Muhaddisa, how are you doing? Kusha, hello to you buddy. Nariman, hi. I don't get what the shutdown means here. What does it mean? Shut down? Shut down what? Shut down airplane? Okay, I'm still waiting. Coronavirus? No, actually, it was not coronavirus. I gotta thank my lucky start. I did not pick up with that one. If I would have actually picked up with that one, I wouldn't have been here doing this Instagram live for you guys. So, you know, it wasn't, I kind of survived. It was a terrible flu. Would you save the live, please? Absolutely. The last time, actually, we missed it, but this time, we'll actually be doing the best we can to save it for you guys and then put it on IGTV so you can guys, you know, have a better understanding of what we went through. All right, I'm still waiting for Louisiana Luscious. Steve, we're waiting for you, buddy. Hi from Switzerland. Oh my God, majestic landscapes and stuff. It blows me away. Rosa, I'm so sorry. Rose _1, hello to you. Actually, it's not like that I get to actually say hello to every single one of you guys. So if I just miss a few and you know, okay, here we got it. If I miss a few of the requests here, so please forgive me. All right. Okay. Let me put this up real quick so we can do this. Sorry. Let's put this up. I don't know what that means, buddy. Okay. I'm still. So waiting for Louisiana Luscious. We're waiting for Steve to go live.
Whoa.
Hello, Steve. How are you doing?
Oh, shoot. Am I live?
Yes, of course you are. Of course you are, my man.
Hey, Ali, thanks for having me. I'm very happy to be teaching you and all of your followers some of my favorite slang words in English. So let's do the damn thing.
Let's do the damn thing. Okay, Steve, it's really good actually having you here. And hopefully our followers and our audience enjoys this as much as I do. So because, you know, when it comes down to learning English, we're just on the learning curve just as much as anybody else out there. So we need to keep crushing it, keep learning, and to stay like, you know, hungry in terms of learning new stuff. So actually, guys, before I get into this conversation with Steve, I'd like to give you a little bit of insight on actually what Steve is doing right now. So he owns this website, eslhiphop.com. Make sure you guys actually crush the like button over there and go check that out because there's a lot of cool stuff for you actually waiting for you to learn them because there's a lot of cool materials out there. But Steve, basically, predominantly all of them revolve around ESL hip hop or hip hop terminology and stuff, right?
Yeah. So some background information about me. I used to be an English teacher, and nowadays I'm a software developer.
Wow.
But when I was an English teacher, I didn't like the books I had to use at school, and they weren't very interesting. So I wanted to teach my own lessons using hip hop and rap music because I enjoy that music. And I created a website called eslhiphop.com, and I would teach some slang words and some expressions and even sometimes grammar, but using the hip hop music and rap music as the source of the language. So, so yeah, that's my website. I haven't updated with new lessons in a long time, but it's still available, and there's probably hundreds of lessons on it right now. So you can still learn, even though it's a bit outdated.
All right, that's really crazy. Steve, because of all the actually people who are following this Instagram live and are watching this live Instagram, so a lot of them actually turn out to be teachers. Okay, there are ESL teachers as well, just like you and I. And so how does it work out for you if you want to actually teach grammar through music or through movies and stuff? So aren't you having actually a little bit of difficulty doing this, or kind of convey your meaning or getting your point across in terms of, you know, music or hip hop and stuff? Because I'd like to actually, I'm just, you know, asking a question that comes to me right now. So would you give us a little bit of detail on that one?
Yeah, of course. So the important thing is you need to prepare. You need to prepare your students before listening to the song or before watching the movie. And you can prepare them in a number of different activities. So for example, if you're going to listen to a song about falling in love, you might have a little pair activity or a group activity to have your students talk about a time they fell in love or a famous love story. And once they shared their stories with each other and with the rest of the class, you as a teacher, you might listen to certain words that they say and, you know, write them up on the board and review them all as a class. And so doing this type of activity, you know, talking about it, discussing relevant vocabulary, that's a really important first step before you actually you know, watch the video or listen to the song. So you can imagine if you just tell your class, hey, you know, I got this rap song, so let's play it, and, you know, we'll talk about it. That would be very scary and difficult. But if you prepare people and prime their brains for the activity and the subject and the topics, then they'll be more receptive for listening to music and watching videos. So that's my big, very big suggestion. Don't start it right away. Think about the vocabulary and think about the grammar that you want to teach, and you know, create some sort of pre-watching or pre-listening activity first. In my opinion, you should probably spend the first half of your class doing this pre-watching or pre-listening, and then in the second half finally begin. So, you know, give your students enough time to get ready, you know, for the material.
Okay, so that was some pieces of good advice. And so you're saying that we need to make some preparations before we dive into teaching them through music, and then we can actually go about this by going through like activities, and then preparation, so they're going to freak out and they're going to get under the impression that maybe I'm the one who's not learning, or maybe I'm the one who's got problem or difficulties learning. So it all goes about the system or protocol with which you are teaching them English. So it all depends on the teacher actually, what kind of method or what kind of approaches they adopt in order to convey their meanings and get their point across. Yeah, that was a really nice advice. Thank you very much. So without any further ado, let's get into your list of awesome ESL hip-hop expressions.
Yeah, totally. Now, some of these expressions contain adult language and profanity, so be careful when you use them, because you don't want to use them in a formal situation. You might offend some people. This lesson will help you understand maybe American pop culture and music and movies, but be very careful where you say them, because you might get into some trouble. Yeah. Okay. All right. So the first.
Okay. So guys, just as a little bit of. Sorry. Before you get into soapbox. Okay, guys. So just as a little bit of disclaimer here. So we're not going to be filtering what we're saying. Okay, guys. We're going to be moving with our heads, and we're going to blur things out. So no, this is going to be actually about adult expressions for the most part, right, Steve? But I'm totally fine with that.
Okay, cool. So if you're squeamish and if you're afraid, right? All right, let's go.
I'm kind of losing you. Okay, let's get started, please.
All right,
Take
cool.
over.
So the first expression I want to teach you, it means very, like the adverb very. So, I am very hungry and I am very rich. There's another way we can say this, and we say as fuck. So, for example, you can say I am hungry as fuck. So if you're hungry as fuck, then you are very.
I really don't get it. Every single time we're going to do this video, so things really don't work out the way we want them to. What's up? What are you doing here, buddy? Okay, guys. All right. So apparently we're back online. Yes, apparently we're back online. So Steve, would you please go? Yeah, here we go. I'm hungry as fuck. Yeah, it was the first sentence that one of the followers made up. Yeah, I'm hungry as fuck. So why don't you grab some out of the fridge, buddy? So what are you doing here?
Hey, I'm back.
Hey, Steve.
My internet is slow as fuck today, so thank you for your patience.
No, it's okay. And we're patient as fuck.
Yes, you are. All right, cool. So that's an easy one. Yeah, that's an easy one. So very, just use as fuck. And pay attention to the word order, because, you would say I am very hungry, but you also say I am hungry as fuck. So very comes before the adjective, and as fuck comes after the adjective. All right. Okay. So that's our first lesson.
Steve, as another variation, can we say as hell, or are they synonymous, or they're different? As hell and as hell.
Yeah. I didn't think about that. You can also say as hell, and that's not as severe. Like, I'm hungry as hell. That means you're very hungry. But I'm hungry as fuck. That means like you're very, very, very hungry. So similar meanings, but just more intensity.
Okay, that was a great one. Okay, we're waiting for the next one.
Okay, for the next one, let me come back to my notebook here. Let's see. This is a good one. So if you are excited and you want to celebrate like some good news, or you heard something that's very nice, you can say yas. Like it's yes, like the word. It's like the word yes, but it's like a kind of a more fun pronunciation. And sometimes you can even call your friend like a queen. So if you hear some like great news, like, hey, we're gonna go to the movies. Do you want to come with me? Oh, yas, queen, yas. And that's something that you could say. It's just like if you're very excited and you want to say yes, but you say yas.
Okay, so it's kind of an exaggerated way of saying yes, which is pronounced like Y-A-S, like with multiple S's actually. Okay, so you said that so it definitely sounds informal, right? Because you cannot use it in a formal setting. Actually, you get to use it only when you're in a friendly environment where everybody actually is close enough to you. So actually you feel kind of comfortable talking the way you want to. All right, so yes, right? Because we have the same case in, excuse my language, bitch, and what's this biatch, right?
Oh, yeah. Right. So you kind of change the pronunciation a little bit to give it like a different meaning.
Okay. All right. That was a cool one. So what's the next one?
The next one is salty.
So S-U-L-T-Y, right?
Yeah, S-A-L-T-Y, salty.
S-A-L-T-Y.
Oh, yeah, S-A-L-T-Y, like salty. So if you are if you're salty, then you're bitter and you're upset about something. And so, you can imagine like maybe a boyfriend and a girlfriend, they have just started a fight and they have just started an argument. And, one of them, usually one of them will ask, "What's your problem? Why are you so upset? Why are you so salty?" So salty means like upset and bitter, and that kind of makes sense because salty food, like very, very salty food, is not very enjoyable. Like a little bit of salt is okay, but if it's very, very salty, then it's inedible and you can't really enjoy it. So if somebody is salty, or if somebody is shook, we can say the same thing, like you're shook or you're salty, then it just means like you're upset. So, if your friend is giving you some attitude, you can say, "Man, why are you so salty?" Something like that.
All right. So can we say that, for example, you are walking down the street and then you run into some random guy, you kind of bump into some random guy and then he's all like hostile and stuff. And
well, in that situation, I would probably just run away from a hostile guy. I don't want to talk to him, but if you were going to talk to him, then yeah, you could ask, "Hey man, why are you tripping? Why are you so salty right now?" And you could say that. But honestly, if I were in New York City and I accidentally bumped into a man and he became irate or hostile to me, I'm just going to keep walking. I'm not going to engage with that person. Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so Steve, is there any difference between a situation where actually you run into some white person versus an African American person? So does that actually make a lot of difference, or is pretty much the same? Because I heard that black people actually they're more inclined toward a little bit of violence compared to white ones. So I was wondering if the same situation applies here. So would you have a runaway if you would have run into a black person or a white one? So which one would you have?
If they were, it doesn't matter. If they are hostile, then I will run away.
Run for your life, yeah.
Yeah, the good news is most people, like most Americans, that they're friendly and it's no problem if you bump into them. "Oh, sorry, excuse me, that's okay," and that's the end of it. But there's a very small population, and that might become very annoyed or agitated, and there's assholes everywhere. So there's assholes in America, there's assholes in Europe, and I'm sure there's plenty of assholes where you're from too. It's just an unfortunate part of life. You're going to meet lots of nice people and then plenty of assholes too.
Yeah, actually, there's a lot of living cases actually just around me, are perfect prime examples of actually what an asshole should be like.
Oh goodness!
All right, so that's just about it for salty or bitter or shook. So yes. Salty, bitter, and shook. So these three terms, guys, keep them in mind because you will end up using them a lot later. Yes. Okay, so what's the next one, Steve?
All right, the next one. All right, so maybe you notice I've been drinking my my tea right here. It's a non-alcoholic. It's just a little healthy tea right there. And if you drink something, you are thirsty. Okay, so that's the slang word I want to teach you next. Thirsty. Now, thirsty in the slang meaning, it means something totally different. Like I'm thirsty, so I'm going to drink some tea. if you're thirsty, that means like you are, let's see, how can I say this? That means like you really, really like badly want a boyfriend or a girlfriend, and you like really, really want to, you know, sleep with them. That's what thirsty means. So you can imagine, like, you know, you're actually thirsty and you see a cold bottle of tea and you're like, I want that tea. That tea looks delicious. I'm gonna drink that tea. You can kind of think of it like with people too. Like, oh, that woman, she looks very nice, so refreshing, and ooh, I want her. I'm gonna drink her up. So we can use thirsty. And if somebody is attractive, and if somebody is like tempting you or seducing you, then that person we call a thirst trap. Thirst trap.
A thirst trap. Or
we can also call them a snack. Like, you know, like a small little something to eat, you know, a snack.
It's more than a little something to eat, actually. It's more than a little something to eat.
Yeah, exactly. It's definitely more than that. But we could call that person a thirst trap or a snack.
All right. So actually, the way you're talking kind of reminds me of the time when I was actually, for a short period of time, I was living in a foreign country, and then I would hit the beach every now and then there was like, you know, a lot of things for days, literally for days. And that's when I would probably say something like this, and I would consider the situation actually the way you're describing it. But in Iran, in our country, actually, due to a lot of restrictions and a lot of, you know, internet blockage and a lot of stuff, because we literally do not have access to YouTube whatsoever. So we need to actually turn on our VPNs all the time. We have a VPN, multiple versions of VPNs available on our cell phones. So we're not actually like, you know, as comfortable as you guys are over there in the US when it comes down to like surfing the internet or kind of Googling everything we want, because we kind of bump into a brick wall where, hey, stop, you can't go any further. But as far as this, yeah, people, since there's no bars here in our country, there's no such thing as bars or speakeasies like the one that actually you American guys used to have a long time ago. So there's no such a thing. So everything we do need to be like, we need to be doing this underground. If you go public about this, so there are consequences, you'll actually get yourself ended up in the jail and stuff like that. But these terms, actually, they're kind of, you know, provocative yet interesting. Thank you very much for sharing this with us. Okay, so
are you safe, man? Or are you, like, I'm not going to get you in trouble,
okay.
am I?
I'm totally fine. I'm totally fine.
All right, cool. I'm going to check in with you next month to make sure you're okay. Because
yeah, there's something. Yeah, it's totally fine, but there's no such thing as First Amendment right in our country. There's no such thing as that First Amendment right. But on the surface, we get to talk our mind, we speak our minds, which sounds okay. But you actually feel free sharing anything you want. Just pour your heart out. Okay, let's get to it.
Cool, man.
Okay, so thirst trap.
Well, I have a few more that we can go over. I've only prepared about 6 of them. So let's keep going.
Sure.
All right, the next one, you know, speaking of being thirsty, I want to talk about juice and sauce. So if something, so like juice is something that you can drink, and then like sauce is like, you know, something you can put on your food, right? So, oh, by the way, my little buddy is right here. He's my teaching assistant.
Hey, little buddy. Hey, little buddy, how's it going?
His name is Waffles.
Oh, Waffles.
Yes.
So apparently everything you have actually dealing with in your life has to do with some kind of food or stuff. Are you a foodie, Steve?
Oh, yeah. I would consider myself a foodie. I like going to nice restaurants, new restaurants in my city. And, you know, when you become older and you make more money, you start to enjoy the finer things in life. So now that I'm an older man and I'm no longer a teacher, I can enjoy going out to some nice restaurants.
Okay, so that was really great. Okay, so back to juice and sauce.
Yes. So juice and sauce. So if something is good, you know, and it could be like a person, or it can be like an album, or something like that. You can say, "Oh yeah, that's good. That's the juice." But if something is like so good that it will last a very long time, then that's the sauce. And
Okay.
think about it. Like in your refrigerator, like you can drink juice and it'll be gone in a couple of days, like a carton or a bottle of juice. But sauce tends to stay in your refrigerator for a long time. Like if I open my refrigerator right now, I'll probably find a couple of bottles of some barbecue sauce that it's like maybe 2 or 3 years old, and it's still there. And it's still good. You know, you can keep sauce in your refrigerator for a long time, but that's the difference. So you can describe certain things as like very good, but if it's like good after many years, then that's the sauce. So like for example, you know, there's like a lot of rappers right now who are new and who are good. Like, for example, maybe you like Nas X. You could say, like, yeah, Nas X, he's the juice. But, you know, someone like Jay-Z, he's the sauce. Like, Jay-Z has been, like, a very good and for a very long time. Whereas Nas X, he's just starting out. And so that longevity and that long duration transforms you from juice to sauce.
All right. So speaking of juice, can we say that the juice, for example, when it comes down to filling up your tank, your car tank, can we say that let's juice up the car, or let's get some juice into the tank and stuff? Can we use this as a variation here?
That's a good question. I never heard of juice being used to fill up a car, like with gas. But oh wait, I'm getting some. No. So my girlfriend, she also hasn't heard of that, like putting juice in your car. But normally, like for batteries, like if you're going to charge up your batteries, yeah, I have heard that, like you know,
Your phone
juice
is
it
out of
up.
juice, or my phone
Yeah,
is
like
out of juice and stuff.
yeah, exactly. So something like with with electricity or with like a battery, you could say, you know, juice it up, and like there's like a lot of athletes who have used like some performance enhancing drugs, like maybe steroids or some hormones, so they can have bigger muscles. You know, sometimes we call that juicing. So like if you're juicing, then you're an athlete and you are using prohibited, you know, drugs and substances so that you can become stronger and faster. And when they're using the drugs, we call that juicing. So like, you know, many years ago, like Lance Armstrong, he got in trouble because they discovered some drugs in his urine. And if you're a professional athlete, you can't use those drugs because it's unfair. So if you do that, so you can also call that juicing.
All right. That was a great one. So juice and sauce, actually, they come down to the longevity of something and the durability of something, let's say. So
Yeah.
the more lasting something is, that would be a sauce, because the best if you bite it is way longer than
Yeah.
juice, and the juice actually is more inclined to go bad within a shorter period of time. Okay,
Yes.
that was a very good one, juice and sauce. So it could refer to both people and things, right?
Yeah, sure. I think mostly, mostly like people and kind of abstract things, like an album, or you know, like this album. Like this album was very good, and you know, people are still listening to it, you know, decades later. But yeah, people and I would say abstract things, not like, you know, physical things, really.
Okay, Thank you very much. So what's the next one?
All right. Let's see. We did Yas Queen. We did Saute du Sauce. Thirst. All right. This is the last one, and then we can take some questions from your audience
Sure.
after the last one. So you probably know that in English you can say the word shit, and it can mean like many things. Well, this one, it's also like you change the pronunciation, and it becomes like something totally different. So like imagine you're gonna take the word shit and you're gonna stretch it out, and you're gonna say she. She.
Shit, man.
Like,
Shit.
yeah, like that. So like it's like the opposite of yas. Like if you hear something bad and or something upsetting, then you might respond like she, and like the longer that you stretch it out, like she, I mean that's pretty bad. But if you said she and just kept stretching it out, then that's like a really bad thing. So yeah, that one's very fun. It became popular because there's a TV show called The Wire, and there's a character in the show called The Wire, and it, like every episode that he was in, he would always say she, and like sometimes they were very small, sometimes it would be like a really long one, like 10 seconds long.
Oh my God, 10 seconds.
Yeah, and so I think something really like terrible must have happened to him in order to make him say she for like 10 seconds. But it just makes it more fun to say, and it's also funny too if you hear your friends respond to something like that. Yeah, so I enjoy saying that one a lot.
Okay, so you personally use this, right? You personally use this.
Yeah, I personally use this, like among friends or whenever I'm at home, and usually, I hear something bad, but I want to make light of it, and to try not to be, too gloomy or too upset. So, she, and it just makes it like if you're going to hear bad news, if you're going to hear something upsetting, it definitely helps it to say something that will make you laugh and make you smile. So I do enjoy, and I personally use this one quite a bit. Yeah.
Okay, so you're saying that you could actually use this expression every time you were upset about something, or it applies to actual other situations where maybe you're surprised at seeing something, maybe you were kind of freaked out upon seeing something. Is that only applicable when it comes down to something upsetting, or it could actually apply to other situations as well?
Yeah, usually it's like a negative situation, but it doesn't have to apply to you. It can apply to like other people. Like for example, yesterday in the United States, it was Valentine's Day, and so this is like a romantic holiday where like couples, they go out to dinner, and there's roses and candlelight, and it's supposed to be like a romantic thing. Sometimes, like men, they will propose marriage to their girlfriends on Valentine's Day. And you always hear about or read about stories of like the woman, she says no, and then like the dinner at the restaurant becomes very awkward and embarrassing for the man. So like if I saw that, if I saw like a man proposing marriage and the woman says no, and it's like in a very public place and it's very embarrassing, I just might like cover my mouth and go, she, like that sucks for that guy. He must be really upset. It's not me, but it's him. But I feel his pain right now, and that's pretty bad. Yeah.
Okay,
So,
that was a really good one.
Yeah.
That was a really good one, but actually I can't really see myself using this because, I haven't been in a situation where, it kind of feels like something definitely new, because I'm thinking about the origin of this word, actually, because the way you pronounce it is kind of blackish. It's like Afro-American a little bit. This is actually how I feel, about this. I'm not really sure if this is the case. So do you know anything about the origin or where it was originated at first, or you just actually use it casually?
Yeah, I can't tell you exactly the origin, but I think it became very popular from that TV show I mentioned earlier, The Wire, because the character, he did it so frequently and so well that a lot of people, they often, they often say it, and then they're talking about the character on the show. So I think maybe it existed for a while, but it became popular from that show, The Wire.
Okay, that sums it up. Okay, so that was the last one, Steve, or there's still more expressions to talk about?
Well, that was the last one I prepared, because you see, like, I wanted to prepare something that was kind of new and fresh. And a lot of the slang words that I use are maybe 10, 15, 20 years old, and I didn't want to give you something that was too out of date. So I asked my friends, I asked my girlfriends, and this was the list I could come up with. But I'm happy to hang around for a little bit and to answer any questions from your students in the audience. Yeah.
Okay, sounds really good. So we're going to be taking 5 questions, Steve. How about that?
Okay, cool. I'm happy with that.
Okay, guys. So I want you to ask your questions, whatever you can, actually, whatever that has to do with the terminology that we used here in this Instagram Live. I want you guys to come up with something and then just shoot it in the comment section so we can get to them. So let's get right into it. So I turn on the commenting section. Steve, do you see the comments?
Yes, I do. I see a question from, it looks like a young woman. She asks where I am from.
Yes.
I'm from Austin, Texas. So that's where I live right now, in Austin, Texas. It's in the southern United States. Yeah, and that's where I'm from. What time is it there? It is 1:15 p.m. Saturday afternoon.
Yeah, that's about right.
Is he a native English speaker? Yes, I am. English is my first language. So yes, I'm a native English speaker.
It's really amazing. How can't you guys tell that this guy is American? How come? How come you guys can't tell a Native American speaker from another non-native speaker? That was really weird. That was a weird question. Of course he's American. Can't you tell by his accent? Go on. That was a rhetorical question. It was definitely a rhetorical question. It was really a rhetoric. Okay, how about using shit instead of sheet?
Yeah, sure. You can say that. It's not as fun, in my opinion, but yeah, I would understand you.
Okay, so another question is how to use a spontaneous in a sentence. Okay.
How to use the word spontaneous and
how to use the word in a sentence. Yeah.
Okay. Well, spontaneous is
it was a question coming in.
Yeah. Spontaneous is not something I would use ordinarily while speaking. Like I think I might use the word suddenly instead of spontaneous or spontaneously. Spontaneous, that's kind of a big word we use for writing, maybe an email or something like that. But if I'm speaking, I wouldn't use spontaneous. I would use suddenly or out of nowhere, that expression, out of nowhere.
Got it back. Cool.
How many languages do you speak? So I speak a lot of languages, like at the beginner level. So I speak German, kind of like at a beginner level, maybe A2 or a B1 level. I speak. I lived in Korea for about 4 years, so I speak a beginning Korean. let's see what else. In Texas, it helps if you know a little bit of Spanish, because Mexico is our southern, is the country south of us. So you see a lot of Spanish everywhere. So a little tiny bit of Spanish. And last year I visited China, so I spent a few months learning Mandarin. But just a little bit, enough to get around and to be friendly to people. So I know a lot of languages, but I don't know, only English I'm fluent in. The other languages I know, it's just enough for like traveling around, but I'm not very fluent in them at all.
Okay, another question that we have here is, have you seen any famous actor or actress there? Or whether have you been starstruck?
Oh, yes. So this happened maybe 15 or 16 years ago, but I saw the British actor Jude Law. Do you know Jude Law?
I'm not actually into movies a lot, so.
Okay. Well, there's a very famous actor at the time. He's from England. His name is Jude Law, and I was working at a movie theater, and I sold him popcorn. So he was going to watch a movie. I was there. I sold him popcorn, but I did not know the man. I didn't know who he was at the time. I just thought he was like a very good-looking, like, British man. I thought, oh wow, like I never see any handsome people come in here. It's just ordinary-looking people. But that man looks like very, very nice, and he had such a lovely British accent. And then later, one of my coworkers told me, "Oh my God, that was Jude Law." What? Really? Oh, okay. So I think he appreciated that I was, I played. I think he really appreciated that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so the next one is, does the word D-I-C-K mean policeman in a slang? From what I can tell, D-I-C-K, actually the word D-I-C-K means detective, not a policeman, but I'm not really sure. So what's your take on it, Steve? The word D-I-C-K mean policeman? Like a derogatory way of saying?
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, like I've heard it for like a detective, but nowadays, if you called somebody a dick, like a D-I-C-K, then they're just like an asshole. They're like, he's such a dick, he's such an asshole. It just means the same thing. And yeah, I don't think people would they would know what you would mean if you called the detective a dick. That sounds like very, very old.
And another variation that we have for dick, actually, which is the dick move, could be when, for example, some guy is dealing with drugs and selling drugs and stuff out there, and then for some reason the police or DEA, the Department of the DEA, right? DEA agents like kind of swarm in and arrest the guy, and then the guy says, "Hey, you told the police on me, and that was a dick move." Can we use that as well? Dick move.
Oh yeah. A dick move, totally. And you can use it. You can use it for any situations, like hey, you stole my idea and presented it as your own idea. That was a real dick move. Or hey, you knew I liked that girl, but you took her on a date without asking me first. That was a real dick move. So it just means doing something bad, like intentionally something bad to somebody else.
Okay, yeah. So another question that we got here is, Steve, do you have any questions over there that you want to respond to? What is
Let's see.
What is your advice?
Okay, I'm waiting for some questions here. Yeah. You guys can ask me any questions. Let's see. How can I learn English so fast?
Okay, guys.
Well, that's the problem. You can't learn it fast. Like anything that's difficult is going to take you a long time to do. So just keep learning and don't give up. There is no shortcuts to success. You have to keep working for a long time. Yeah.
Yeah, just to interject something real quick, for the fellow follower that actually asked the question, how can I learn English so fast? There's no shortcut. Like Steve said, there's no shortcut to it actually, because it's all a mental process. It all comes down to your mental readiness, your mental agility. Okay, it's not something that you can achieve overnight, because it takes a lot of time and the right approach at the same time in order to achieve the most out of learning English process. Okay, it's going to take quite a while. So do not expect yourself to learn something. Do not set the bar too high for yourself, because it's not something for overnight. It's going to take a while, along with the right techniques that you have, in order to learn how to speak English fluently. Because do not focus on speaking English fast, because that comes second. What comes first is speaking English fluently and accurately, using the right grammar and stuff. Okay, so do not obsess over speaking too fast, because it goes nowhere fast. Okay, another question that we got coming in here: how can I find on Instagram what's your ID? Louisiana Luscious, right?
Yes, but I don't really post many pictures on here, so you're not going to see very much.
Oh, okay, so it's more like a private account.
Yeah. I just there's a few friends that I follow, and I like to see their pictures. But yeah, I don't know. My life is kind of ordinary. Well, like, what should I take a picture of? Like, there's some flowers right there. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, so I don't take too many pictures.
Okay, fine. Okay, Steve, so I think that's pretty much it for tonight. It was really a wonderful, remarkable having you over here with us. And I'm pretty sure that our audience enjoyed this Instagram Live just as much as I did. Hopefully we'll get to do more Instagram Lives, because me personally, it was a unique experience for me actually talking to you. So you're such a humble and modest person, really down to earth. I really appreciate it. And if there's anything you'd like to add, please take over.
Yeah, thank you guys so much for having me. You've all been so friendly, and I loved your questions. I feel very honored that you're also learning English. So keep learning English. I think you're doing a great job. And that's it. Have a good night.
Have a good one, Steve.
All right. Bye-bye, guys.
Peace. Okay, so we are back online with you guys. Okay, hopefully you guys enjoyed this. If you enjoyed this video, please make sure you spread the good word about money. Would you please tone it down over there? If you enjoyed this video just as much as I personally did, make sure you spread the good word about the channel, our Instagram, and make sure to tell everyone that we are focusing up on specifically real spoken American English. We are going to post a lot of cool content for you guys. We also got this a real American English course that we are done with the first term. So we're kind of preparing the second term. We also got this surprise for you guys, which is the American accent package, which is going to drop like in a month from now, I guess. So make sure you tell your friends about our Instagram profile and leave your comments in the comment section, or whatever actually you can get your hands on. Do not hesitate to ask your questions. And hopefully you enjoyed this Instagram Live. See you in the next Instagram Live. Have a good one.